Hello and welcome everybody to another Powered Cube Draft video. I'm Paul Cheon and today we are sitting at 484. I am in the mood to do some climbing. Why don't you join me in this Cube Draft as we try to pick up our first trophy in, it's been a bit. It's been like 3 or 4 drafts, so I really want to get this trophy. Now before we hop into this draft, I did want to say that this video is brought to you by TCGplayer.com. Go to TCGplayer.com for all of your Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. If you're in the market to buy some booster boxes of Strixhaven or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or singles for your standard modern or commander decks, check out tcgplayer.com and make sure you hit that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Also head on over to heavyplay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. They are the place to go to for Magic the Gathering supplies, including deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, live pads, and much, much more. Go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon to get 10% off your first order. They're also basically every Magic the Gathering convention. Swing by their booth, tell them Paul sent you to get 10% off in person as well. Can we just get something absolutely broken? Pack 1, pick 1. We got Chrome Mox, Booster Tutor, Tamiyo, and Swift Savior. We're going to take Tamiyo. Tamiyo's great. I'm going to focus on cheap threats, okay? Let's focus on cheap threats. Tamiyo is an incredibly good and cheap threat. Booster Tutor is highly variable. It's a fun card. And for me, okay, so the problem with this card is it's a card that I never end up playing in my decks because I don't take it highly enough, right? I think it's a fine card, but I think it's a card that more likely, from a winning perspective, something that you should probably take in the middle of the pack, like pack 5, pack 6, whereas, you know, Tamiyo is a card that's certainly first pickable. Okay, pack 1, pick 2, and what do we have? There is Archon of Cruelty for the Reanimator enjoyers, Teferi for control, but I'm looking at the cheap stuff, okay? Wow. Can you imagine if I had first pick Flash? Woodfall Primus, Volburn Tyrant. But for me, there's Malcolm and Corey Steelcutter. Those are the 2 cards I'm considering here. And the last deck was a blue-red deck, but it was a blue-red deck that wasn't really quite aggressive enough. Let's take Corey Steelcutter and see what happens if we keep our curve really, really low. Now, keep in mind, I mean, I'm not necessarily married to my first pick. Like, we could be red X if that ends up being where we need to be. Here, we'll take Flooded Strand. Given this start, it makes a lot of sense. If we can pick up a blue-red land, that would be great. Inquisition of Kozilek is also quite strong, but we're going to take Flooded Strand here with this start. Nice, rock-solid start here to the draft. Pack 1, pick 4 is where things get a little bit interesting. I don't really see anything great that I would like in a blue-red aggro tempo-y deck. I mean, there's like Seer Slicer Goblin, Saheeli, Stoke the Flame. Saheeli's not good. Vibrant, Stoke the Flame, Chandra. But I think the best card in the pack here is Sage of the Skies. So I think I'm just going to take it, and then kind of, if I go Jeskai or blue-white or red-white, I just want to right now just take the generically best card, and I think Sage of the Skies also works well in decks that are trying to do Corey Steelcutter things. All right, pack 1, pick 5. We got some green cards in the mix. Asika's Chariot is a fine one. So is Endurance. There's a Mind Twist. Doesn't seem like a good setup for Mind Twist or Dothy Voidwalker. There's a Leonardo if I want it to be aggressive. I think I'm just going to take Consider. It's a nice cheap spell that works with Steelcutter and Sage of the Skies, and I can use to flip the Tamiyo. So I'm going to take that over Leonardo, Leader in blue. And then go on to the next pick here, pack 1, pick 6. There is a Lurrus. Oh. Why Lurrus, you always tempt me with a good time. To be fair though, I can't really cast the Lurrus if I go blue-red. You know, I'm just not going to do it. There's Ravenous Robots. I don't think I'm artifacting. I think I'm just going to take Meticulous Archive here and try to put together like a cool Jeskai prowess stack if possible. Or we can just be straight blue-white. That's also possible if we don't get the red fixing for the Steelcutter. Although, this deck looks like the type of deck that would like the Steelcutter so far. I mean, I can splash the Sage of the Skies. All right, pack 1, pick 7. There's Yuffie. This is probably not going to play much longer. There's Enduring Curiosity, which is okay, but I care less about this card. I'm going to look at the cheap stuff here. There's Oust, Abrade, and Ether Spellbomb. Now, Oust is definitely the best of the interactive spells between the 3. So I think I'm going to take it here. They're all fine to solid, but let's take the oust. All right, pack 1, pick 8. What do we have? 3 steps ahead. I don't love this card, but man, this pack stinks. They're like this Triome I can fetch with the Flooded Strand, but it literally doesn't get me any of the colors I need. I'll just take a 3 steps ahead, but you know, this is not necessarily looking like a deck that's going to want to play this, but look, I know we had in mind a deck where we want to keep our curve low, but look, if the Teferi tables, we could transition back into a blue-white control deck, no problem. There was the Aang. We opened an Aang too, so. Man, I really was hoping that Aang was going to table here. I really was. Let's see. Reckoner, Bankbuster, Hellkite. I'm just going to take Rafine's Tower. It's not optimal, but, you know, if I do pick up a black spell, this would be a really, really good card to have in my deck to be able to fetch for. Here we have Tundra. I think I'm just going to take Tundra. I mean, I do like Malcolm, but Tundra is just like way too good. Treasure Cruise, Flicker Wisp, also good. Like I said, Malcolm totally fine, but replaceable. And Tundra with Flooded Strand, just being able to get an untapped blue-white land seems really, really powerful. Here we'll take Winds of Abandon. Not my favorite removal spell, so not going to be looking to play it unless I absolutely need it. So, yeah, I mean, certainly this pack, we have been focusing a lot of our attention on taking the mana fixing here, and hopefully we pick up enough playables in the future packs. One thing that I have noticed, though, in this version of the cube than others is you know, I take mana fixing fairly highly. You have to be careful because there's a lot of bad cards in this cube. And oftentimes you just don't wheel anything because the only cards that are left are Bebop and Rocksteady and Crypt Breakers. You know what I mean? There's just like a bunch of cards that I totally get that they're trying out a bunch of new cards, but man, just the density of just close to unplayable cards is really high in this version of cube to the point where if you go a little bit too crazy just taking lands over everything, it can punish you. That being said, I mean, Tundra is like an on-color duel. I'm going to take it. But yeah, if it's close and it's like the playable strong, oftentimes you should take the playable. Here we'll take Jetmir's Garden. That I can fetch with the Tundra to play perhaps the Corey Steelcutter. Here I'll take Loot. All cards that are going to be very, very difficult to cast. The only 5 cards that I'm even probably playing are the cards on the left. Here I'll take a Bleachbone Verge for another card that we can consider for the Black Splash. But yeah, this was a weird and not great pack. We're going to need a lot of help in the upcoming packs to kind of put this all together. Now we have the Wandering Emperor versus Staff of the Storyteller. There's also a Skull Clamp, but right now we are not set up for Skull Clamp at all. I think it's still early enough. Like, look, I'm going to prioritize cheap things. And I think it's early enough where I can take Staff of the Storyteller and hope to pick up more ways to generate tokens to draw cards. I don't expect the Skull Clamp to table, but you know, it's just a 2-mana 1/1 that draws me cards, and then every time I make tokens, draws me more cards. Seems quite nice. Easy Swords to Plowshares in this pack. Okay, Parallax Wave. All right, well, these packs are... Wow, this pack is insane. Pick 3, like, I would have taken Esper Sentinel, Jace, Parallax Wave, Mystic Confluence, Miscalculation, Teferi, and Broadside Bombardiers on the splash. Like, literally, if I could take this pack, like those 7 cards, and skip the rest, I would be happy. Like, that would put my deck in a really great spot. Thoughtseize in the pack, too. This pack was loaded. But yeah, Parallax Wave is obviously just ridiculously powerful in the pick here. All right, pack 2, pick 4. There is Strip Mine versus Giver of Runes. Also an interesting pick. So normally I would take Strip Mine, but this is kind of like that pick that I was highlighting earlier. Given the weak start that we had to this draft, like Giver of Runes is a really solid playable card. I'm going to take Giver of Runes here just because of sheer like playable count, right? Like our playable count is quite low. And so I'm going to take the Giver of Runes there for that reason. Pack 2, pick 5. This pack is also great for like a blue-white tempo shell. Mentor, Brazen Bar, Adeline, Agent Bishop Felia. We're absolutely taking the Felia here, and we are very happy about that. So getting the hookups here in white in pack number 2, Giver of Runes, Felia, and the Parallax Wave. Oh, and Swords to Plowshares. All right, pack 2, pick 6. What do we have? There is in Aang's Iceberg. There is Clarion Conqueror. I have a Staff and a Giver Runes. This card like always seems good in theory, but my deck always just has too many things that work with this card. There's a Spyglass Siren, which is interesting, and a Ranger Captain Avios. Spyglass Siren looks pretty good here. As much as I like Ranger Captain Avios, we're going to go with the cheaper card here. And let's take Spyglass Siren. I just think this is a good card in these types of decks. And I want to keep my curve low. Cathar Commando, Flitterwing Nuisance, Fairy Mastermind, and Gideon. Let's take the Flitterwing Nuisance here. Especially with all these cheap flyers and such, it looks pretty good. Although Gideon with Staff of the Storyteller is pretty nice too. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to take Gideon. We don't have any good 4-drops just yet, and I want more synergies with Staff of the Storyteller. Here I'll take, it's like Nia or Sunblessed Healer. I guess I'll take Sunblessed Healer. I don't love the card, but again, it's like a playable card. I don't think we're going to be splashing the red here. Most likely, we're just going to stay the course and just be like blue-white. All right. Oh my gosh, the Skull Clamp tabled. What the hell? We have Spyglass Siren, so I have to be careful not to use a map token on this necessarily. Staff of the Storyteller, Sunblessed Healer. Okay. I think we can make the Skull Clamp work. Let's take it. And now we can focus on more 1-toughness creatures that are good to fill out our deck. Yeah, I mean, now do I wish I had the Flitterwing Nuisance? I don't know. Like, the Nuisance is a better card in general, but again, it's more of a, like, I had a Staff of the Storyteller type situation. Here, there's Plateau versus Narset. Narset... Do I want to splash the red for the Quarry Steelcutter? Not really. I'm just gonna take Narset, just because it's a playable card. Again, this is I don't have enough playables, I'm taking Narset type of situation. Don't really care about Jace as much as these other cards. Mystic Confluence versus Miscalc. Let's take Mystic Confluence. Think about it this way. Like, if I curve out, this is a nice way to just clear out the board. And we don't have that much top end. All right, Adeline versus Man in Black. I'm going to take Adeline here. It makes 1/1 tokens, which is really... tokens... Ranger Captain or Kithian? Whatever, I'll take Ranger Captain now. Admittedly, I did take a lot of the more expensive cards here. Hopefully it doesn't end up hurting us. Dismember, I'm going to take over Path to Exile. I think it's just a better removal spell. And yeah, there's nothing else really to consider here. So look at this. We got Oust, Swords to Plowshares, and Dismember. And we have Parallax Wave. So that's really good interaction. Lots of cheap spells here to be able to get that Sage of the Skies going. And I think our playable count really, really got better here. Wow. These packs have been nice. There's an Elspeth Stormslayer, Elite Spellbinder, Hull Breacher, Remand, and Stock Up, and Flood Farm Verge. Unbelievable pack. I think I'm going to take Elspeth. You all know how I feel about Elspeth. Good with making tokens for the staff. Good with Skull Clamp. Great late game win condition. Kind of does it all. I don't have any combos with Hull Breacher. Remand is okay as well. But we're taking Elspeth Stormslayer. All right, pack 3, pick 3. Third Path Iconoclast, of course, is very, very good with Skull Clamp, but that's not the colors that we're in. We're going to take Memory Lapse here over Mokti. Memory Lapse is just an excellent interactive spell, and right now our deck doesn't really have any ways to stop or slow down any broken stuff, so I think this is a good pickup here. Pack 3, pick 4. This seems like an excellent Daze deck, while Minsc and Boo, pack 3, pick 4 as well. But, I mean, this just seems like it's a Daze deck. There's also Lutri, but actually not the best Lutri deck. Let's take Daze here. All right, pack 3, pick 5. We have Consult the Star Charts and Astrologian's Planisphere. I guess Timeless Dragon. I'll take Consult. I'm just not a believer of the Planisphere, that's all. Well, remember that time where I was like, man, we're not going to get enough playables? Well, that has not been the case anymore. Yeah, Ranger Captain of Eos getting Tamiyo just seemed really nice to me, which is why I took it. Here we have Ponder versus Abandoned Air Temple. Abandoned Air Temple is a fantastic land, and now we're looking like we're not worried about playables as much. So this is just going to be an excellent pickup here for this deck. All right, pack 3, pick 7. What do we have? Tishana's Tidebinder is fine. There's Cryptic Command, but I think it's just going to be a little bit too hard to cast, and I'm in the market for more creatures here. So let's go ahead and take the Tishana's Tidebinder. I don't love it. It's certainly cuttable, but all these cards on the right are probably cuttable. All right, pack 3, pick 8. There is Mana Tithe, Otawara, and Mana Confluence. Let's go with Mana Tithe. I just feel like getting people with Mana Tithe. Here, I'll take Stormchaser's Talent. I think we're good on interaction. And, you know, this makes a token. You can clamp the token. There's just, like, more than enough good reasons to play this card. Here, my mana is looking pretty good, and Elite Spellbinder is great. So let's go ahead and take that. 13 creatures. And, I mean, this is more or less the deck here. So I do like that. Ooh, I do like Mokti in this deck, too. And not really a Dig Through Time deck. So let's go ahead and take that. Sunblessed Healer can easily go as well if we have enough playables, which it seems like we do. Okay. I don't hate it, right? I mean, it's mostly white cards. I guess blue didn't end up actually being that open, but we have plenty of interaction, right? We have like 3 counter spells, Oust, Swords to Plowshares, Dismember, and Parallax Wave as well. And we have Elspeth as well to help deal with permanents. So I think we have a nice mix here. And let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at the deck here and see if there's any holes in the deck. Here's the mana curve, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, let's just do it the other way. Give me 1 second. I will say that this probably could maybe use like 1 more creature. We're on basically 13 things that make creatures and are creatures. So let's take a look at the sideboard. I think if I were to cut a spell, like Mana Tithe or Consult the Star Charts are probably options. Let's take a look. Yeah, so don't need to consider, this one would have been a lot better if I was doing the, like Corey Steelcutter nonsense, but now it looks like we're just trying to curve out here. There is the Sunblessed Healer, which I think makes the most sense here. It works with Clamp. I feel like I have just enough things to get back. Let's see, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. 1, 2, I guess talent doesn't count. Actually, I only have 5 things to get back. Probably just going to play the Tidebinder, just like blue, white, flashy. This works a lot better if you have other counterspells in your deck as well. So let's go ahead and get that in and cut one of these cards. Look, given that I have the days, I probably, I know I took this Mana Tithe, but given that I have the days, I probably don't need the Mana Tithe as much. And having the Consult the Star Charts just kind of helps us dig in the late game. So, and we're not like super aggro to the point where like, I'm going to really need the Mana Tithe, I think. I take that back. Let's just, you know what? Let's just cheese them out. Let's have Daze and Mana Tithe and just put our opponents on full-blown tilt. All right, let's look at our colors. We have more white than blue and more double white cards. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 white sources. I want 11. And then we can go to 9 blue. So 11 white and 9 blue seems totally fine. Great mana. And I don't want to play the Rafine's Tower because my mana is already good at 2 colors. I don't want to introduce a second tap land to the deck. And yeah, let us give this one a whirl. I think it's solid. All right, now before round 1 starts, I did want to say that if you've been enjoying this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. Big shout out to all the patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Access to the Patreon gives you access to my Discord channel, which I believe is a really great way to join a wonderful group of folks looking to up their limited game. I post monthly videos, I do monthly streams, I do all kinds of stuff, and I try to stay active on the Discord as well, interacting with all the people in there. If you want to take your game to the next level and join a great group of folks, check it out. All right, opponent on the play here. We got 3 lands, Clamp, Tidebinder, Elspeth, and Dismember. So certainly not a hand that's like blazing out the gates, but we do have enough disruption here where, obviously this is not something that you're going to mulligan. Let's keep this. Volcanic Island and Stormchaser's Talent, okay. We drew Swords to Plowshares. Let's just run out the Clamp. Like, I'm not really interested in killing this token for now. Oh, did I have a scrubland in my deck? I should have played it if I did. If I had a scrubland, I should play it. I forgot that I had the Dismember. I'll take a look at my sideboard. I don't think it's a reason to play Rafine's Tower, but if it's like totally free, you should play it. That's a FOMO. Certainly can kill the FOMO here. Oh, discarding Flage. Okay. They're working with something here. Not going to play the Mach-D here. I know I played the Skull Clamp, but I think the plan here is to just go for like a Swords probably on FOMO. Oh, actually? That's interesting. This is a very, very aggressive blue-red deck. And I do like it. All right, so let's Swords the Phoenix, because they can get that one back. And then let's Dismember the FOMO. Right, we're at 14. But now we can go Mach-D into Skull Clamp. And if they want to trade their token for my Mach-D, by all means, right? If they want to kill the Mach-D, by all means. Sacred Foundry in the yard, 3 cards. Might need to save the Tidebinder for Flage if it gets to that point. No attacks here from the opponent certainly makes a lot of sense. All right, let's go Meticulous Archive. Don't want the land, and we're just going to play this probably defensively here. Just keep this back so they can't attack me. Eagles of the North. 4 cards in the yard. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to counter it. This is the way I like. When you have Tishana's Tidebinder, more or less, the rule of thumb is if you can do it, if you can basically counter something, just do it. Because sometimes, like, what if they do this and then they just, like, play, like, a regular thing? You know what I mean? All right, that's a Chain Lightning. 5 cards in yard. They're going to get back something. Get back the Chain Lightning, sure. All right, and that is a Mystic Confluence from us. Let's see, 2 cards in the hand now. They don't quite have enough for the Flage. Even if they play the thing, I mean, this will still just be way too high life total, I think, or too high. Loyalty rather. Like even the Flage won't deal with it. And then now, once I get to untap, if this Elspeth stays on the battlefield, then I don't have to do anything, right? I'm like, all right, Mystic Confluence. All right, that's a Chain Lightning. It's not enough. Unless they go like fetch land Flage. What you got for me? It feels like they have a play, but it's like not great. So that's why they're tanking. That's my... Maybe they have like a Treasure Cruise and they're like, well, I got this Flage, but do I need to Treasure Cruise? If they have a Mind Collapse, they can just cast it. Obviously, like a Lightning Helix effect, it's not even a question. All right. Let's not mess around here. Let's make the tokens now. Let's attack. Let's play this. Let's clamp this token. We have the Gideon, but now we just get to keep up Mystic Confluence. And the great part is we even have the Abandoned Air Temple, so it's like we can credibly just represent Abandoned Air Temple, when in reality we can also Mystic Confluence. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is Cube. There's a bunch of things that can beat us. But, like, what I am presenting right now on the board is just an absolute nightmare, right? Air Temple, Elspeth, tokens, Skull Clamp. Like, it's just so hard to try to play, like, a fair Jeskai game against what I have in play right now. I cannot believe the Skull Clamp tabled. All right, Legend of Kuruk. Counter. Let's just do all... Yeah, okay. I mean, they were tanking for a while, but we had it all. And that was a most satisfying victory, right? Just a most satisfying victory. I feel like this deck has like a lot of bases covered. Cheap counterspell against broken things, a reasonable mana curve, some ways to draw cards into the late game, some mana sinks, removal. It's got a little bit of everything. No power though, but it's still solid. All right, on the play. Hey, this is a great hand. We got Spyglass, Siren into Feli into Adeline. That's wonderful. Just a good mana curve. All right, they're following up with their own. They have an Elvish Mystic. I would love for them to just attack with Elvish Mystic. That would be the dream. I don't think that's happening. Sidecat Cub into land, sure. Let's go Felia. Let's play Adeline. Let's get you out of the way. And nice little beatdown start here from us. So, I mean, they got a decent start, and so do we. I think my start's better. Well, we'll see. I mean, if they kill Natural Order me this turn, then no. But we got a Parallax Wave next turn, too. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop Parallax Wave on the play. Cannot be sad about that. Tireless Provisioner. Okay. Is this card playable? Like, I get the idea, but is it playable? I don't know. I do not know that it is. Raphaelos? Wow, that's a lot of action. That was a beatdown. All right. And the crazy part about that is my opponent looked at their opener and go, wow, my hand is great. Right? They were on the draw, but they had like Llanowar Elf into Sidecat Cub land into Provisioner Raphaelos, and it wasn't close. Welcome to Cube Draft. All right, on the play. Hey, another fantastic curve. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. We're going to lead with Spyglass Siren into Mokti, into Ranger Captain Avios, getting either Giver of Runes or Tamiyo. Not sure which one. Thornspire Verge is the play from the opponent. Let's play Plains and attack. They could easily have like a Burst Lightning or some kind of removal spell here, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it would be good if they had it. All right, Burst Lightning. Wow. We named exactly the card that they had. Oh, I forgot to check if I had Scrubland in my deck. Every time I draw Dismember, I get reminded of it. I mean, the thing is, there's like nothing I really want to save. So I'm just gonna get Tamiyo because it just draws me cards. And that's why I took the Ranger Captain, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just guaranteed value over the Kythian. I mean, my opponent, by the way, I mean, had a really, really good hand here to match what I have, right? 2 1-mana removal spells into Sirach. That is great. Legitimately great. Alright, now it's time to get going here on the Spyglass Siren. Play Tamiyo. Just utilize all of our mana.
I've read nearly the entire library.
I'm just gonna kill this silly thing. Alright. Because I have the Parallax Wave too for other creatures, so... But like, I don't want to get countered, and I just want to kill this thing. Sure, they get an extra card, but... Because I have the Parallax Wave as additional removal, I'm okay using the Dismember there. Alright, that's a Minskin Boo. Very, very good. That goes up to 4. Man, I don't... Well, no. I can kill Minskin Boo. Well, it depends. They need to keep this back. So this was a pretty big mistake on their part, I think. Because I have the Abandoned Air Temple, I can just kill the Minskin Boo now. But there's a lot of ways I can do this, actually. I can also go like Gideon Emblem. Or I can use Air Temple. Air Temple's probably better. Do that. Attack you. Unless they have a way to kill me legitimately this turn. Which would be very strong, obviously. I mean, this was a great hand. Yeah, I mean, next turn we are almost 100% playing out this Parallax Wave. They probably have a handful. I mean, they just drafted Jund, right? So it's like they probably have a lot of removal, which is why I wanted to keep the Gideon as just like another threat. Some Badlands, okay. Oliphant. Probably playing a creature or a removal spell here. They could, I guess, Mind Twist me for 2 or something. I can also get back this member with Stormchaser's Talent, but I am at 8 life, so it's not the best thing to do. Animate dead? Sure. Okay. And Dark Confidant. Got it. Let's exile you. I gotta think. Let's exile you too. Alright. And we have the Abandoned Air Temple. Let's kill you. The One Ring? Ugh. Okay, well I can't really exile anything else. Fair enough. Mox Jet, okay, and then they could put Lutri into their hand. Does this target? Look at target opponent's hand. Okay, fair enough. Alright, what do I want to do then? Just doing this to make the extra token, keeping the other creatures back. Alright. They take 1 from the One Ring. They get 2 more draws. Let's see what happens. I suppose theoretically I could save my creature if I wanted to, but let's see what they do here. Like, just removal just will not do it. They, like, unless they can kill Parallax Wave, but even if they do, they're at 5 life. One Ring's going to deal 2 damage to them. I only need to sneak 3 damage across. And the fact that I have, like, Abandoned Air Temple with all of these triggers, it's going to make it very tough for them. Malevolent Rumble, okay. Elegy Acolyte. Yeah, sure. I assume they're going to keep that one. That is not close to enough, though. Oh, no, they get an extra blocker, too. No, that might be, actually. That might be. Okay, Elegy Acolyte. Oh, I can get back this member, though. I can get back this member with the Stormchaser's Talent, so that should do it, right? Yeah. Alright. I mean, solid deck. Solid mid-range deck. We just had a really... We've been drawing really well. We've been drawing really well. Alright, let's just get that... Okay, did we have a Scrubland? We did. Oof. Big punt. Alright, so I should be able... I should fetch for that when I can. I'm not playing the Bleachbone Verge, however. This one actually is a real cost to do so. Let's go back to our regularly scheduled program of curving out perfectly and beating down. Alright, battling against Chandra. It's going to be a tough match. They're going first. I'm going to keep this. My hand is great. Swords, Tamiyo, Daze. Yeah, Adeline. Obviously going to keep this. Turn 1 Giver Rune, so there's some kind of beatdown deck. Let's go turn 1 Tamiyo. I really don't want to Daze, so we'll see what they play. Staff of the Storyteller, do we want to Daze that? The answer is no. Just going down a land drop right now is just too big of a cost. So here what I would like to do is just hardcast days, right? And if not, then I can just like Swords the Giver of Runes and go about my day. And if they do nothing, then I can just crack this. That is a Thalia. Ooh, that is annoying. Let's kill Giver of Runes. Thalia resolves. Alright. So... yeah, so the annoying part here is that the Thalia will block the token from the Adeline. So that's not very good. But it's still just a really good blocker, so I guess I play it. I guess I'll just attack. So I don't get to daze. So we cross our fingers and hope here that this next turn isn't too strong. But a very, very nice mono... like, they might be mono-white here. They've led with 3 planes. Like, no dual lands in sight. Unless they're like a Boros deck and just got really unlucky. But, I mean, a Boros deck that still goes like 1-drop, 2-drop, 2-drop. No, they're a Boros deck. This makes a lot more sense. Alright, FOMO, okay. Fine, but certainly something that's manageable. Now, if they kill the Adeline, then it becomes a problem. But hopefully they just, you know, hopefully they're hosed by the Thalia as well. The question is, like, is it worth it to just, like, flip this and tick it up? It looks like they have a removal spell for Adeline, and if they do, then we're in trouble. Pyrokinesis, exiling Fiery Confluence. Wow. Okay, that is aggressive, so they're kind of all in here. We drew Parallax Wave. Yeah, let's flip it. So it'll take 2 damage here, but, you know. We get to draw a bunch of cards, stabilize a bit. And then, you know, we can, like, if they play, like, another big threat, we can just run out Parallax Wave just to get some tempo back. Alright, let's tick this up. So now what? We have Staff of the Storyteller, Tishana's Tidebinder, and Parallax Wave all as options. I guess Tishana's Tidebinder is actually not bad here. So let's just pass. Robber of the Rich. Yep. So we can Tidebinder that trigger. So these go on the stack. Okay, and then we can eat something. Which one do I want to eat? Let's eat the Thalia, so then I can slam the Elspeth. Well, I can slam the Elspeth regardless. No, but the Thalia is like the most annoying card based with my hand, so let's just do this. Thalia down. Oh, and Robber is turned off, of course. Yeah. Alright. Oh, Tamiyo doing work. We gotta tick this up. What other 1-drops? We have the 1-2 that we can get and keep up the memory lapse here. So let's just continue developing our board. Let's get Ranger Captain. Get the Giver of Runes. Play Giver of Runes. And keep up memory lapse. Do I want to attack here? Sure. And this should probably get close to sealing the deal here. Like, our board is looking very, very nice. Parallax Wave. And that's what the memory lapse is for. Yeah! We can even get back the memory lapse next turn to lock this out and just continue developing our board. So things were looking very, very good for us. And yeah, this deck has been playing out super duper smoothly so far. 4-0. All right, opponent on the play here, but we have Giver of Runes and Dismember as cheap things to play. Our opponent leading things off with a Kellen Planar Trailblazer. We're going to go Giver of Runes. I might just block, honestly. I don't have a second creature to save anyways, so it just saves a lot of damage. Unless they kill the Giver of Runes, then obviously I'll take it. Alright, pending there, and we're going to take 2. Alright, Spyglass Siren, sure. No reason to use the map. I'd rather keep up Dismember in case they play something like Alelia, and this is going to be good enough to just block the Kellen. So that is a gut. And we're going to kill that. All right. That was good. And now why don't we go ahead and... Ooh, this is interesting. Let's go get Meticulous Archive first. See what we have on top. Don't want the land. I have so many lands. Now if I like hit a land, that's fine. If I hit a spell, that's also fine. You know? Elite Spellbinder. Sure, it's a spell. I'm still going to keep this back based on the life totals right now. I just want to manage my life total as much as I can. Enduring Innocence. Oof, that's a good one. Okay. We have Gideon and Elite Spellbinder. I think I'm just going to go Gideon. Make a nut. Stay back. Now, if they play like a Fury or Pyrokinesis, this is pretty bad. Which then leads me to maybe playing the Elite Spellbinder, being the better line. I mean, look. No matter what, I was going to get destroyed. Yeah. So, yeah, this is absolutely devastating. They're going to be able to kill this and also my Gideon with the Fury. If I play the Elite Spellbinder... Oh, they can't convoke it or evoke it or whatever. Yeah. All right. We are getting classically Boros. Although the Kellen's going to attack me. They're ticking it up, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to kill the Gideon here.
I am not quite indestructible.
Just try to stabilize a little bit here. You know, no shame in getting Boros. It happens. You know what I mean? It happens. They hit into Johnny. Okay. Sure. We had a perfectly good, respectable hand. You know what I mean? They hit a land too. Yeah, they hit a Johnny and a land off of the Kellen. Fair enough. Let's go Adeline. Keep up the Tishana's Tidebinder somehow, some way. They might give Kellen Pro White. I don't know. I mean, we're just super dead here, right? Yeah, I'm not even going to bother. There's just not too many ways to come back from this board at 7-20 here. Like, I'm going to lose my 1-4. I'm going to go to 5, and then they're going to play Enduring Innocence, and it's just, like, way too much. All right, GG's. Got Boros. That Fury was savage. Yeah. Had I gone for the... Can you still evoke when you exile? I don't know. Perhaps I should have just gone for the Elite Spellbinder, and I would have had a chance that game. I do think I would have had a chance that game if I did that. So that's on me. Should have played the Spellbinder, kept it on top for a reason. My bad. All right, opponent on the play. Played against this person. This person cube drafts a lot. If I'm like randomly playing the same person multiple times, and I don't cube that often, like I do it for these videos, but I'm not like cubing all day every day or like every hour of the day. This means that this person, or they just, at 11:30 a.m., that's just their time where they cube draft. Who knows? All Alright, opponent on a mulligan. Meticulous Archive. Don't need lands. I'll take Spyglass Siren. But with 2 open mana, I'm not going to use the map. Always good to save the map when you can. Also, this allows me to just keep up Swords to Plowshares. Alright, Swamp Cycling Troll of Khazad-dûm. Next turn, if they keep a bunch of mana up again, I'll probably just lead with the Elite Spellbinder first to see what they're working with. Also, this just kind of demands an answer just because it's a 3-powered flyer. Alright, that's a Mana Crypt. Well, you know, we haven't played against anything busted yet, and now we might be doing so. Talisman of Conviction. Not what I thought. I thought they were like, it looked like they were on some kind of mid-range deck, but we'll see. Lotus Petal. Oh, this is not good. Like a Time Twister or something? Oh, that was it? Okay. Let's go Elite Spellbinder. Sure, Mana Leak. They have 1 card left. We're hitting them for 1. It's not like we're putting on a bunch of pressure here, so... Mana Crypt has dealt more damage to my opponent than I have. They have access to 7 mana. Legend of Karuk is fantastic. Used up all their blue mana, including their Lotus Petal. What is this deck? Is this just like a fair value deck with Lotus Petal, or are they breaching me? They could be breaching me too. Like breach Brain Freeze. Gotta be mindful of that. Wasteland. Oh my gosh, that's so devastating. That is brutal. I can't believe it's this good, honestly. And you saw I have like 12, like I skewed super heavily into white sources. That is brutal. We drew the white source, but it's like that hamstrung me so much. That was like, imagine if I play an Adeline there, right? Like that puts a lot of pressure on my opponent. Now, I think my opponent is significantly ahead. I mean, I think they were already ahead, but this puts them significantly ahead. Plains would be a pretty good draw. I can go Adeline into Swords to be able to Swords this 4-3. Tezzeret, Cruel Captain, okay.
Through ambition, I am remade.
They're cooking.
Even these strange metals answer to me.
Soul Ring. So just the casual Mana Crypt Soul Ring deck.
I expect success.
I feel like the last time I played them, they had a busted deck too. Okay, well. Alright, Tezzeret down, but they have a trillion mana available. Alright, they're at 12 life. Legend of Karuk. They make a 4-3. Now, I don't really care too much about the 1/1s that get created because they can't block. Alright, that's a hard cast Atali. Let's see what they hit off of that. Animate Dead and... Alright, so for me, they hit Staff of the Storyteller and they hit Animate Dead. They can use Animate Dead on Troll, I suppose? Or Elite Spellbinder. Sure. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I mean, when you have Mana Crypt and Soul Ring, it can give you the potential to have some of these really, really amazing turns. They should probably exile my Elspeth. Now remember, those 1/1s, the spirits... Okay, well, how close are they to Waterbend 20? Okay, that's still pretty hard. Alright, that is a Mystic Confluence. They're at 12. Gosh, my mana is just betraying me to like no... Like, it's It's actually absurd how bad this is right now. I mean, I can bounce the Elite Spellbinder. The thing is, they can flip the Atali pretty soon. But, like, am I really in a position to let them play that thing again? Probably not, right? So I think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do I just swords this thing and then attack? Alright, let's just kill it, I guess. Like, of all the things that I think I'm losing to most, it's the wasteland on my white source. As you can tell from what I have in play right now. My opponent clearly just mulligans drafts until they just get, like, 2 pieces of power. That's the only explanation here. I mean, the thing is, I kind of had to do it because of the Atali. Oh man, Staff of the Storyteller plus Avatar Kuruk is ridiculous. Alright. Okay. What do we learn? Power is good. Power is great. Again, like my mana, like look at my mana, 7, 8, 9. I have 11 white sources and 9 blue. It doesn't get too much better than that. Okay, opponent on the play here. We have 4 lands, Giver of Runes, Stormchaser's Talent, and Dismember with the Meticulous Archive. Certainly going to keep this hand here. It's just a question of whether or not I want to lead with the Archive to have blue mana or start things off with a Giver of Runes. Forest. Fast Bond. Okay. Okay. That is a thing. I'm going to go with Meticulous Archive because I'm just also going to be digging for stuff. Mokdi, I mean, I'll keep that too. I'm going to have nightmares over Wasteland. I mean, we're fine for the most part. At least we have plenty of white sources. I don't really care about saving the Mokdi. Honestly, I kind of welcome them to use the removal spell on the Mokdi, and then maybe we can use it to save something else later on. Keen-Eye Curator and no land. Yeah, I mean, this is the like the whole reason why like Fast Bond sucks. I said it. I want them to redraw that thing. All right, opponent at 19. They missed a land drop, and then we have this. Wait, what? Did they have a land last turn? Oh, my bad. All right, Path to Exile. Yes. Okay, we'll get an island here. Ocelot Pride. Okay. So the Keen-Eye Curator can exile things out of the graveyard, which is kind of annoying. So I probably should save this Dismember. Yeah, that's the plan. Oh, I drew Swords to Plowshares. That also works. All right, so we'll go Ranger Captain of Eos. We'll get Tamiyo. We'll play Tamiyo. We'll attack.
If you need me, I'll be in the library.
All right. Ranger Captain can cleanly block the Ocelot Pride. That's a tireless tracker. Okay, so I feel like I should kill something here. Okay, let's swords that. Go to my turn. Attack. And use our land. And this is the power of the abandoned air temple. I mean, look at this. What are they going to do? I'm just going to activate it again next turn and they're just dead. Unless they play balance or something. Yeah. Alright. We defeated Wasteland. We're 1-1 against Wasteland, okay? Look, an aggro deck shouldn't really be that weak to Wasteland. Alright. I mean, it looked like they had like a fine smattering of Bant cards. And I'm sure they had combos with Fast Bond. Like Fast Bond, Wasteland, Crucible, something along those lines. So I'm sure there's a reason why it was there. But there are too many games for me where you draw the Fast Bond, either you draw it late and it doesn't do anything, or you draw it and you don't have enough lands in your hand. You really need like a very specific deck with multiple good uses for the Fast Bond to really have it go off and for you to want it in your deck. Alright, on the play here, gonna keep this. 3 lands, Sage of the Sky, Stormchaser's Talent, Mystic Confluence, and Dismember. Gonna be leading things off here with the Stormchaser's Talent. Gonna try my best to hold off on the Dismember until turn 4. Just so I can go Dismember into Sage of the Skies. Of course, that also requires us to draw land number 4. Also, my opponent went turn 1 land Ruby Jite. We did draw the land, which is nice. Yeah. The Boros decks utilize the Mox better than almost any deck. Oh, they have a River Pyre Verge, though. I don't know what that is. Alright, Agent Bishop. Well, I'm hoping they, like, try to equip the Jite. That's my hope. That is a Lockmare. Okay. Alright. Gotta kill that one. I mean, if your hand is Force of Will here... Okay. Whatever. Sure. I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, that's just silly. That is a silly, silly start for a silly, silly opponent. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna need to kind of try to reset things. Oh, God. Oh, please let it stop. Okay. I'm surprised they didn't kill my token. Alright. So we're gonna just have to use this Mystic Confluence to like completely reset everything. Yep. I mean, this is just ridiculous. What colors are they? They're just like full-on Jeskai? So they're like blue-white splashing late. No, they're just full-on Jeskai. All right. Yes! 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 I mean, you know, look, if you ever want to see like, hey, what happens when, you know, like that type of stuff happens to everybody. And look, I had high hopes for this because we started out really strong. Were we like 3-0 or 4-0? And then we went 1-3. But like it happens, right? It happens. And again, that's Cube. You know, like we won most of our matches where we didn't play against decks that had power. And the ones that did, well, we folded. We folded, right? So, you know, it is what it is. We went 5-3. We got some gems back. We had a cool deck, like a nice blue-white value deck, tons of good white stuff, a little bit of blue stuff, right? And, you know, we ran into a deck with, you know, that Force of Will with Counterspell backup with everything that they were trying to get done. I mean, to be fair, if I even resolve the Mystic Confluence, I still think I'm a dog from that spot. But this had all the tools, right? You had the good interaction, you had the counterspells, you had the decent curve. It was a fairly low mana curve. We had some value, you know, Abandoned Air Temple. We had a lot of good stuff going on here, but we're just not going to beat a lot of those decks. And I think that's honestly like a lot of, like when you approach Cube Draft, just, okay, go into it with this mindset for the most part, unless you draft specifically Boros aggro. But even if you do, a good deck without power, you should expect, like a good deck without power, your expectation should never be you're going to get a trophy with that deck. It should be, all right, probably going to get 5 wins, right? Against any fair deck, I'm probably going to have a small edge. Against the decks with power, I'm probably going to be a dog, right? So as long as you go in with that mindset, that's going to be like a healthy mindset to have, because you're just going to lose to those cards all the time. And we've been doing a lot of cube drafts. Like every other opponent's just going to have a Mox or something. We've had our fair share as well. So just keep that in mind. And anytime you do nab a piece of power or two, that's when you go, okay, this one's the one that probably has a very good shot at a trophy, okay? So just go in with that mindset, and I think that'll maybe make it so that, you know, like, you won't be as disappointed when you have a bad finish, right? And like I said, I thought this deck was cool. Like a blue-white aggro tempo deck. We did some Skull Clamp stuff. We were trying, you know, at first we were trying to do some of the Corey Steelcutter things. We were trying to feel things out. White was pretty open. And then we ended up with what I thought was a really, really cool deck. But we just got overpowered in some of the games. But you know what? This deck was sweet. Ranger Captain Avios getting Tamiyo was pretty cool. Skull Clamp with Elspeth is nice. Parallax Wave is busted. So yeah, rock solid deck. Would draft it again. Would be nice if we had a Mox to go with it. Maybe we'll get that in tomorrow's draft. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, as I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more daily videos just like this. If you've enjoyed this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. Big shout out to all the patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Also check out TCGplayer.com for all your Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. If you're in the market for Magic the Gathering boosters, including boxes of Strixhaven or some singles for your standard or modern decks, check out TCGplayer.com and make sure you hit that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Last but not least, go to heavyplay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. They are your one-stop shop for top-of-the-line deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, life pads, and much, much more. Go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon to get 10% off your first order. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.